Hello, everybody. Welcome into your Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy, with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales, coming off the 113th edition of the Rio Grande rivalry, a 10-point loss at home to New Mexico State. Coach G, it was a great battle, two pretty evenly matched teams, and you guys actually outgained them. You nearly doubled their total of first downs. Does it come down to the fact that maybe they just made a couple of big plays, and that was the difference?
Significantly. I mean, all football games come down to 4 or 5 plays. We turned the ball over going in with an opportunity to score. They created the turnover and got it. We had an opportunity to pick 6 on the 4th play on defense of the game, and it went through our hands. I mean, Dante would have been a great play. He didn't have a great hand on it, but opportunity right there. And then we gave up 2 big plays, one right before halftime and one after we had closed the gap to within 3. So we got to fix that. I mean, that's going to be a hindrance the entire season if we don't play better coverage, because they were running the ball a little bit in the second and third quarter. We put more people in the box to stop it. It helped, but we got to be able to play man coverage if we're going to do that.
The first 2 offensive possessions for the Lobos, they completely dominated the line of scrimmage. You look back on the first possession, Coach, you get the penalty. It puts you first and goal at the 3. You drop back in a sack outside the 10. That was a key play that kind of turned the momentum of that drive, didn't it?
It was, and then Dylan missed DJ on the glance route on the 3rd down. I thought we had a pretty good look at that. We got the coverage we wanted. DJ ran inside, and Dylan missed him a little bit. Andrew was coming open on the sack. If we protect for half a second more, it's going to be a touchdown, but it wasn't, and there was a missed opportunity at 4 points there. The missed opportunity on the turnover was 7. There's 11 points. There's the difference in the game.
So the Lobos get the first score, and then after getting New Mexico State quickly off the field, you drive it right back down the field. You love how hard your guys run, and Sherrod White was fighting for extra yards. At what point is it just cover up the football? Because you don't want them not to be aggressive, but obviously possession is crucial.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Sherrod's got to protect the ball. But there was a couple wide receivers that stopped blocking because they thought the play was over, and one of those DBs is the one that came in and caused a fumble. So you got to play through the echo of the whistle, and it's a team game. It's as a collective group. There were 3 or 4 mistakes on that one play. It was a great run, but you got to protect the football, and then you got to keep those guys off from hitting him.
Man, the devil is in the details. You think about that. There's a trickle-down effect, a cause and effect for everything that happens out there, isn't there?
Everything they do every day. I mean, whether it's study hall, whether it's school, whether it's practice. I mean, if you don't practice full speed all the time, that stuff happens. And every once in a while we'll point those things out. But you can't give the ball away when you're inside the 10-yard line. I mean, that's caused you to lose football games, and that was part of the big reason we lost.
So the Lobos lose that fumble. Then they finally get their offense going. What did they do well on that drive?
Well, they got us on a 3rd down and 7, and Diego used his legs and got out of trouble. We talked about it all week long. He does a really good job of spinning to his left and going high and getting out of the pocket. So the idea was to aim to the upfield shoulder, and we missed our aiming points on 2 or 3 really key plays. The field goal attempt that they got was a 3rd and long. If we just keep them in the pocket, they don't even get a chance to kick the field goal because we had him at the 50-yard line. He was able to scramble for 7, give him a shot, and the kick was great. That kick would have been good from 55, 60. I mean, he nailed it. And then later on, a 3rd and 21, we've got him backed up. He only scrambled for 19, but we got an opportunity to keep him backed up and give ourselves the ball in plus territory, and we let him get out of there by running too far up the field. So we've got to fix those when we play quarterbacks like that. I'm not sure which quarterback UMass is going to play with. If it's Tyson Famacon, who played early, he'll give us the same kind of problem, so we're going to have to compress that and fix that before this weekend.
The Volcano Vista product, Diego Pavia, did rush for almost 100 yards, but after you had gotten back within 1 score, the key play, their next play from scrimmage, the big play over the top for 75 yards, that was a backbreaker, wasn't it?
I mean, it was. I mean, you're playing man coverage, man-free coverage. The RPO slows down the free safety, the glance route. 6 ran a nice route. He's fast. He made 2 big plays. Not hard to cover, though. We've got to be better at those 2 positions. If we're going to play man coverage and stop the run, then those positions need to step up and make plays. And I thought Noah on the other side played really well all night, so that's better. He's growing. We've got to get Jamarius and Aaron on the same level, and they did some good things, but it's really glaring when you give up big plays like the 2 touchdowns.
At that time, your outstanding Lobo, Tavian Combs, wasn't on the field. He's going to be okay for this coming weekend?
He'll be fine for this weekend, and I thought that hurt not having Christian Ellis in the first half. He plays wolf safety and Lobo. We had to put him at Lobo when Tavian went out in the second half. I thought it was better for the longevity for Christian to play in there. Was a little bit rusty from practicing 2 different spots all week, not playing in the first half. I thought his missing the first half was had a pretty big effect on our secondary. So we've got to get the right guys out there and make sure that when somebody's down like that, it doesn't affect us as much.
That was a result of a targeting from the previous week. Okay, we come back on the other side of our first break. First half highlights with Coach Gonzalez. We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales. The Lobos hosted New Mexico State, 113th edition of the Rio Grande rivalry, in front of more than 27,000 at University Stadium. Coach, a great atmosphere.
Great atmosphere. Once again, we got a penalty on the kickoff return. We got to eliminate that because it's starting to hinder us. We took a deep shot on the very first play. They slowed down Caleb at the line a little bit. Dylan overshot him, but we had a really good second and long call, and we executed it right there with Sherrod getting the first down so that we weren't behind the sticks going into a third and long. I thought Dylan was really good on this very first drive. I mean, there's a basic route right there with Andrew coming in and catching the dig route, and then inside zone. I mean, Bill, this was a really impressive run for the first down.
Oh, he's so tough, and look at him break tackles and spin through another hit. And I wanted to mention Andrew Erickson because you told us what a great camp he was having.
Oh, Andrew's been one of our better, most consistent receivers, and he played in multiple positions. Really nice run by Dorian Lewis right there. A little leakage in the offensive line right there, and they got Bill backed up. Here, this was a big play. Andrew Erickson was coming open right there on the end on the pivot route, and then Dylan, I thought he threw it a little bit behind. Now the safety kind of talked him out of that throw, and we had to settle for 3 as opposed to 7, so there's a -4 points right there, which are huge as the game goes on.
What about your special teams play overall in this game, Coach?
I thought the coverage was good. I don't think the return game was as good. We have too many penalties on the return game that we need to get fixed because we've been really good in the return game around here. Great play by Zach Morris. We got him off the field on 3 and out. We pump into the punter for no reason. I mean, that was unnecessary. We're going to give our offense the ball right here on the 40-yard line going in, 43-yard line, and just a silly penalty. And then I thought we put the defense out there so they don't fake it, and then we had another penalty right here. They call this a blindside block. That one right there, Sai was kind of on the side, and then this one right here by Dimitri, that one was in the back. You can't do that. You got to get it shielded off. And once again, we're going to give them the ball at the 45-yard line instead. We start almost near on our 20.
What's the rule, Coach? If you can see the numbers, don't hit him?
Yeah, and then use your, you can shield him by just going and getting him between the receiver. You just can't hit him. Dylan's really dangerous with his legs. He's a lot faster than people think. He got a couple key first downs with his legs. And then here we go again, running the football, getting into plus territory. I mean, this was a good drive. We've got an opportunity to go up 10. And now this one I thought was a really good catch by Luke. We called timeout so they could review it. They said they didn't have a good view, so it is what it is. It didn't really affect us. We were able to get down there. This is a great swing route by Bill out of the backfield. Nice catch, and Dylan put the ball right on the money.
We see you guys throwing to the back so much this year. We've already seen catches for White and Krosky Merritt out of the backfield.
Great run right here by Sherrod, but you can see a couple of the DBs were left unblocked. You got to hang on to the ball right there. I mean, when you've got the ball in the 9-yard line, you got to put it in the end zone and come away with points. The very next play, Dante had a chance at a pick 6, would have put us up 10-0 again, and then they backed up on a penalty for a holding penalty. We got to, when we're playing cover 2 like that, we got to keep that thing boxed inside. You can't give up a 16-yard run. Great play by Tavian Combs right here to cause the fumble. Thought we were going to hop on it. Their quarterback actually did a really nice job. It was right there on the sideline, and Stowers pulled it out of bounds, which was smart. And there was what we were talking about earlier. You got to keep that young man in the pocket. He's able to make plays and extend drives, and that was a big play, throwing the ball over Sai's head. We were in zone coverage on 3rd down, had an opportunity to get off the field, and they made a big play. And then a miscommunication right there. Tavian and Aaron Smith didn't handle a bump very well and enabled them to get down there in the goal line.
So they get into their jumbo package here, and they get the first touchdown of the game and their first lead. But you guys, offense, it's just been terrific here in this first half.
I mean, Jeremiah, there's a really nice catch and some yards after the catch by him. We answered. We were moving the ball just fine. Right here, that's a great throw. This is where Luke Wysong got injured, and it's too bad because he really was coming into his own on this. He dislocated his shoulder. Not sure how long he'll be out. Not expecting him to play this week, but we'll see. Another great run by Bill. Got down to the 4-yard line. Now, I thought Justin on this one, I thought he was in the end zone. Not sure how they called him out, but they did. Said they didn't. Another one they didn't have a view of. So we went back to Bill and put it in the end zone to go back up, sit 10-7.
He's on quite a pace in the rushing touchdown category. He has 5 of them now, a prolific start to his Lobo career.
It is. Here's again, we had him an opportunity to keep him in the pocket, and he made a nice play. Those receivers do a really good job when he's running around. Breaks a couple tackles right there. I mean, that should have been a 3-yard gain. We can't miss those tackles, especially on quarterbacks.
What about the quarterback runs? You talked about a quarterback power. They did some read option. Pavia is really good, isn't he?
He is. I mean, that was really good coverage right there. There's Noah Pola Gates. That's the exact same route that they got the touchdown on later. We did a good job keeping him out of the end zone when they got down here, but he extended some drives by getting out of the pocket. We've got to eliminate that.
What is that? Was he getting outside? Was he finding seams? Was it a little of both? Did you spy him? It's tough.
No, I mean, our guys were missing aiming points, and he got outside of them. We told him all week long how he was going to react to pass rush. He did it just as we practiced it in practice, but didn't execute it in the game, and give him credit.
Boy, that's all instinct by Hickson to turn that outside like that.
It was. They called blocking the back on Andrew. Andrew used his body. His hands probably extended a little bit, that's why they called it, which was too bad because that got us behind the chains. And then we have to punt and give them the ball back. 2:49 to go. Got to understand the situation. I mean, he's strong. I mean, there's an opportunity. We got to stop going down low and just run our feet through contact. If Alec hits him that's high, he can't throw the ball. It'll be a fumble. There's another one right there. Got to keep him in the pocket. He gained 7. I mean, those little gains kept adding up. Right there's an uncharacteristic play by Tavian. Didn't tackle the guy with his arms, tried to buck him down. His ankle was hurting a little bit and had a little bit to do with it because he wasn't able to drive off of it. But you can't get beat on a double move with under a minute to go in the first half. 31-yard touchdown. I thought that and the 75 were 2 plays that really were the big difference in the game.
What about this final possession here and your thinking with under a minute to go?
We were trying to get in field goal range or at least have an opportunity at a Hail Mary. Right there, Deuce should have got out of bounds, and that would have given us a couple more times. And then we tried to throw it over the top and see what would happen, but they did a nice job. That's Eli Stowers, and there is their Hail Mary guy. Did a nice job knocking it down, and we go to the break down by 7 after we give up the 2-minute touchdown.
The momentum that was lost after the start of that first quarter when your offense was so dominant, it was tough to get it back, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, they made some plays in the second quarter that gave them an opportunity to put the ball in the end zone, but you can't fumble. You have opportunities to turn the game around with a pick six. You got to make the catch, and you can't give up big plays. I mean, that hurt us in the first game. Didn't hurt us in the second game because we were better. We were able to get more pressure. They were able to protect a little bit, and we gave up 2 big plays. The difference in the game, there's 14 points plus the 11 points we gave away.
It's a 1-score game at the half. We come back on the other side of the break with second half highlights with Coach Gonzalez. We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show. At halftime, the Lobos down to New Mexico State 17-10. Let's get into second half highlights with Lobo head football coach Danny Gonzales.
Well, we came out right away. We got a 3-and-out and then able them to punt and give our offense a nice job by Kyler Drake of not letting the quarterback scramble. We got a good lick on him right here. They were able to get the first down. Is this the first drive? It is. But they had a new chop block on one of our blitzes. Alec did a nice job coming around that. They chopped side. Here's one of their scrambles that he got about 16 yards. Would have given it backed up. Now, they didn't get the first down. That's smart by Aaron Smith right there. I would have liked to have seen him make sure he doesn't get any more positive yards, but they probably called it a touchdown, so that was smart. And then they called interference with Godfrey in there. That was Jacob Godfrey's first rep. He's going to have a chance to be a special punt returner. So we take over the ball at the 45-yard line. We've got to be able to capitalize when we have short fields like this.
There's Bill. He bounces this one outside. Almost kept his feet through that hit right there.
He did. It was close. They did a nice job on the tunnel screen right here of getting off the block. We missed the O-lineman missed the linebacker by inches, or that's going to be a big play by DJ, and then instead he was able to make the play. They get us into a 3rd and long. We're not able to execute to get a first down, and so we have to punt the ball right back to them.
So can't take advantage of the great field position, but this is a great special teams play by Deuce Jones.
Great punt, great play, and Aaron actually bobbled it a little bit. Was able to get the punt off, and Deuce Jones made a great tackle. Here's one of the quarterback runs inside there. We were getting a little bit too soft on the edge up front instead of making all that stuff bounce. And then there's a nice run by Monte Watkins. I thought he ran inside the tackles a little bit better than I thought he did. Nothing that hurt us, but that was a nice run by him, not typically what he does. I thought that was a terrible call. I thought it should have went the other way. I mean, I thought Zach was doing a really good job, and their guy threw our guy down. but they gave him an opportunity at it. They called a pick route right here, which was the right call. Their guy wasn't even running a route. He tried to pick Aaron and got over the top. On a 3rd and 21, if we go to the high shoulder, we give them from scrambling, and they can't kick the field goal. This was the only score of the 3rd quarter. We had an opportunity to keep him out of field goal range, but he crushed that thing. That was a good kick, and they give him a 10-point lead.
Ethan Albertson, a terrific place kicker for them, and I agree with you 100%, Coach. The one in the end zone was definitely offensive PI.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it was close, but that's how they called it, and that's how you have to live with. There's a nice run out of that. Dorian Lewis did a really good job in the second half, coming in and hitting some really key runs. Really nice job by Deuce right there hanging on to the football, and we were getting down here with an opportunity to score.
What did you start to do to get this drive going here in the 4th quarter after the offense had stalled a little bit there in the 3rd? Well,
I thought Dylan made a couple good plays. That was silly by them. And you know what? This was not a game that was controlled by penalties, which usually a rival game, there's going to be a lot of those. Dylan did a good job with his feet getting out of the pocket. There's a really nice play by Dorian Lewis. I thought he was going to stay in and tightrope the sideline. But the offense was doing a good job of pushing the ball forward here. I told Coach V on the 3rd down, you got 2 downs, so let's see what we can do, and did a nice job play action, roll open, Andrew Erickson got open, and Dylan did a great job finding him.
Wow, and the patience, the double clutch, he's got a man in his face, cross his body. What a play by Dylan Hopkins.
It was great. I mean, we cut it to 3, we took the momentum, and here's the play we talk about. Can't give up 75-yard touchdowns. I mean, man coverage, we expect those guys. Sometimes they're going to be on an island. They've got to make plays in order for us to be able to play man coverage like we intend to do.
So Christian Ellis at that point at the Lobo, he was pretty shallow, but that was by design.
It was. I mean, we go with certain down and distances. There's guys that are going to protect deep shots on certain down and distances. There's guys going to protect the run. He was protecting the run right there so we could get the ball back. And we anticipate, and I think Aaron's good enough to make that play. He's just got to use his technique better.
That was a throw right there to Andrew Erickson. If Hopkins hit it, maybe it's a little bit different here in this 4th quarter.
For sure. I mean, it was just a little bit over the top. We'd hit that all week long. I thought this was a big stop by the defense. I mean, they got to a 2nd and 1. We stopped him on 3rd and 1. Right here, good coverage. Couldn't do what he was doing earlier and make a play with his feet. We enabled him to punt the ball. We get the ball back. With 6 minutes to go, we needed 2 scores. We moved the ball down, and then we missed the field goal. We'll see here in a minute.
What about the pacing of this drive? Could you have gone any faster, or you just have to take what the defense is giving you?
Well, you know, they did a good job. They were dropping 8. There wasn't going to be an opportunity to throw it over the top. We thought we had one for a minute, and it went off of DJ's fingertips. We got into a couple of 3rd and 1s, dumping the ball down, and to enable that we got the first down, we put tight end and Bill in there to make sure that we got the first down. We got the first down, and that took time. They were smart with the way they substituted. When they saw a substitute, I thought the referees did another job of not very good job of the substitution also. The one time we had to burn a timeout in the second half, we subbed with 20 seconds. That's plenty of time. That should have been a delay of game on the defense. And he said that, so too bad they didn't call it. Here was one that I thought DJ's going to come up with this ball as we get later on in the season. He's got to catch that the first time, and we'll score with 2:05 to go. And then we'll have a chance to, I mean, if we would have scored right there at 2:05, we'd have kicked deep. We wouldn't have to have the onside because we had 2 timeouts left. Take a chance of trying to get the ball back and see what we can do, whether it's kick a field goal or score a touchdown to try and win the game.
If he gets the hands turned around on that first initial grasp at it, maybe get him in better position, he has a better chance to catch it?
Yes, but I think, Dylan put the ball in the spot, and I expect DJ to come up with that play, and he will as we go down the season. Great catch right here by Caleb Medford, and that ball was put right where only he could get it. Zero tried to go after it and didn't make the play. And then Deuce right here, DJ again, that's a tough throw. They did a nice job with their coverage. We got to try and put this ball in the end zone, but the idea was 3rd and 15, 4th and 7, or kick the field goal. Kick the field goal, make it a 1-possession game. Got it onside and got it recovered anyway. You got a better chance at a Hail Mary if you're running out of time than kicking a long field goal. But we didn't execute the field goal. Luke missed it off the upright, and game's over.
First miss of the year, field goal or extra point for Luke Grzywicki. A nice embrace with Coach Kill, who had some issues with his health, was able to coach this game for New Mexico State, and I know you guys have a friendship.
We do. The Dennis Francione tree is where our connection comes from. I just wanted to make sure he was all right. He took a pretty good lick in the first half, and he's a tough old nut. He stayed on the sideline and did a great job coaching the game. So I was really happy that he made it through. I just had an opportunity to pray with him after the game and just make sure that he's okay.
stubborn in a good way, too. He
Yeah,
wanted to be on the
that's-
sideline for his
coaches
team.
are silly like that. So he was there and did a good job.
Okay, time for us to get our final break. When we come back on the other side, we'll wrap up the Rio Grande rivalry, number 113. Look ahead. The Lobos will travel to take on UMass. That's next on your Lobo Coaches Show. Back to wrap up this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show with the head football coach at New Mexico, Danny Gonzales. I'm Robert Portnoy. Coach G, what are your final takeaways from the loss to New Mexico State?
Well, we've got to be better on the red zone on offense, 3 of 5. We got to put those for points. Can't turn the ball over, and then we can't give up big plays. I mean, the key was 4 to 5 plays. They made them, we didn't. So we got to continue to get better. The trajectory of our football team, I like who we are. I think there's a lot of games out there that we're going to have a chance to win. We just got to make those plays and not give away the ball.
It's not often that the Lobos go all the way across the country to the East Coast. They're doing that this week. You take on UMass, a unique opportunity. What do you expect from them?
No, I expect a team that's going to come in with confidence. They beat New Mexico State in Las Cruces on week 1. They played a couple of tough games. They had a game like us against Auburn, like we did against A&M. They throw the ball really well. They play good defense. Don Brown has been a defensive coach at a high level for a long time. So it's a great challenge.
What would you like to see, final question, for your team with regard to preparation this week?
Go out there and prepare to win. Finish drives in the red zone. I thought we prepared good last week. We just didn't make enough plays to win the game.
Coach Gonzales, best of luck against UMass.
Thank you.
For Danny Gonzales, the head coach at New Mexico, Frank Mercogliano, and Chase Christensen, I'm Robert Portnoy. New Mexico travels to take on UMass. So long, everybody. Go Lobos.